I tried to juggle two men, and now they're both laughing at me in a group chat with all our mutual friends. Yeah, I'm that girl. The one everyone's talking about right now. I'm Lakeisha, 28, and I swear I didn't think it would blow up like this. See, I've been with DeMarcus for almost 4 years. High school sweethearts, if you count the senior year fling that turned into something real after we ran into each other at the corner store 2 years later. He's stable, got a decent job at the shipping warehouse, pays his half of our rent for the 2-bedroom apartment, and remembers my birthday most years. But that's pretty much it. The spark? Gone. The butterflies? Dead. The excitement? Please. I started noticing how routine everything had become when I got promoted to office manager at the medical billing company where I work. Suddenly, I had my own little office instead of a cubicle, and that's when Draymond started stopping by. He's the new IT guy, tall, always dressed nice with those colored dress shirts that fit just right, smelling like he just stepped out of one of those fancy cologne ads. The first time he came to fix my computer, our hands brushed, and I swear I felt more electricity than I had with DeMarcus in the last 2 years. The texting started innocent enough. Work stuff. Funny memes. Then late-night conversations about dreams and goals. DeMarcus would be snoring next to me while I was getting butterflies from Draymond, asking what I'd do if I could travel anywhere. DeMarcus hasn't asked me anything deeper than what's for dinner in months. That night, lying awake after DeMarcus had stormed out to cool off at his boy's place, I made the decision. I wasn't ready to let go of the security DeMarcus provided, the history, the stability, the comfort of knowing someone's got your back, but I also couldn't deny the thrill Draymond gave me. So why choose? DeMarcus would be my safety net, and Draymond would be my excitement. I convinced myself I was smart enough to handle both. Spoiler alert, I wasn't. Keeping up with 2 men is a full-time job nobody prepared me for. After that first night with Draymond, things escalated quick. We started meeting up at this motel off Highway 40 during lunch breaks. I told my supervisor I needed the extra hour for doctor appointments, and she didn't ask questions. Meanwhile, DeMarcus was working evening shifts, which made the schedule perfect for a while. I'd be with Draymond during lunch, home in time to make dinner for DeMarcus before he left, then have the evening to myself. I had separate ringtones for them, different text notification sounds, and even kept a journal of what lies I told to who just to keep it straight. The rush of it all was like a drug. Having Draymond text me how much he missed me while sitting across from DeMarcus at breakfast, the thrill was unreal. I started buying new outfits. Changing my hair one week, I'd wear it straight for DeMarcus, who liked it that way. The next, I'd have curls for Draymond, who said they framed my face. I was essentially becoming 2 different women. With DeMarcus, I was still his Kiki from the block, who could throw back a beer and watch basketball. With Draymond, I was Keisha, sophisticated office manager who had opinions on wine and politics. My girl Shaniqua started noticing something was off. "You look different," she said over drinks one night when DeMarcus was working. "Got that glow. Either you pregnant or you up to something." I laughed it off, but my heart was racing. I convinced myself that if my best friend since middle school couldn't figure it out, nobody could. I was a master of deception, or so I thought. By month 3 of my double life, I had convinced myself I was untouchable. I had systems, alibis, and explanations for everything. I was Lakeisha by day, Keisha by night, and nobody could tell me nothing. That confidence would be my downfall. The cracks started showing in month 4, keeping track of which lie I told to who became harder than advanced calculus. One morning, DeMarcus mentioned something about my cousin's baby shower coming up that weekend. Problem was, I'd already told Draymond I'd go with him to his friend's album release party that same day. My brain short-circuited trying to figure out how to be in 2 places at once. DeMarcus started checking my phone more often always when I was in the shower or cooking. I caught him once, and we had a huge blow-up about trust and privacy. Rich coming from me, I know. But I played the victim so well that he ended up apologizing for not trusting me. Meanwhile, Draymond was getting more serious, talking about introducing me to his mama and taking trips together. "I think you might be the one," he told me one night, and instead of pumping the brakes like any sane person would, I leaned into it. The worst slip-up came when I confused which man had told me what. Draymond had mentioned wanting kids soon, but I accidentally brought this up with DeMarcus, who looked at me completely confused since he'd always been clear about not wanting children yet. "When did we discuss having kids?" he asked. I had to backpedal so fast I nearly gave myself whiplash. It all came crashing down on a Tuesday. Not even a weekend, a regular, nothing special Tuesday that turned my whole life upside down. I was at work when DeMarcus texted me, "We need to talk when you get home." My stomach dropped. Those 5 words never mean anything good. I spent the whole day panicking, barely able to focus on my work. I got home that evening to find DeMarcus sitting on the couch, my phone in his hand. My old phone, the one I told him I'd lost last month, when actually I'd switched to a new one that Draymond had added me to his plan on. Turns out it had been under the bed the whole time, and it buzzed while DeMarcus was looking for his charger. The look on his face told me everything I needed to know. He'd seen the texts. Not all of them, but enough. "Who is Draymond?" he asked, his voice eerily calm. I tried damage control, claiming he was just a work friend, that the texts were harmless flirting that didn't mean anything. DeMarcus wasn't buying it. "You've been acting different for months. Now I know why." We were in the middle of the most intense argument of our relationship when the doorbell rang. I knew before opening the door. Somehow, I just knew. Draymond stood there, holding flowers, a confused expression spreading across his face when he saw my tears and DeMarcus behind me. "Surprise," he said weakly. "I thought I'd meet this roommate you're always talking about." The silence that followed was deafening. "Roommate?" DeMarcus repeated. And just like that, the 2 worlds I'd been keeping separate collided spectacularly. I watched in horror as understanding dawned on both their faces simultaneously. DeMarcus laughed a hollow, hurt sound that cut me deeper than any angry words could have. "So I'm the roommate," he said, shaking his head. What followed was the most excruciating 30 minutes of my life. The men compared notes right in front of me, piecing together all my lies like some twisted puzzle. Every attempt I made to explain myself just dug me deeper. "I never meant to hurt either of you." I tried, but Draymond cut me off. "Save it, we're both done here." The finality in his voice matched the disgust in DeMarcus's eyes. They both walked out, leaving me alone in an apartment that suddenly felt way too big. I thought the worst was over after that night. I was wrong, so wrong, it's almost laughable now. 3 days after the confrontation, my phone blew up with notifications. Shaniqua texting, "Girl, what did you do?" My coworker Tiffany, "Is this you in these messages?" My heart dropped as I opened Instagram to find myself tagged in a story. Someone had created a group chat called Lakeisha's Greatest Hits, with both DeMarcus and Draymond as admins. They were sharing screenshots of my conversations with each of them, side by side, showing the contradicting stories I'd told. There I was, telling DeMarcus I was working late while texting Draymond about what movie we should watch. Promising Draymond I'd never felt this way about anyone while assuring DeMarcus he was still my forever. The receipts were endless and damning, but the worst part? They'd added people to this group chat. My friends, mutual acquaintances, coworkers. The group had over 30 people in it already, and it was growing. I tried calling both of them, but my number was blocked. I showed up at DeMarcus's friend's place where I knew he was staying, only to have the door shut in my face. I went to Draymond's apartment, and his roommate told me he didn't want to see me. I was being ghosted by both men while they publicly humiliated me. The fallout was swift and merciless. People at work wouldn't look me in the eye. Shaniqua told me she needed space. Even my mama called to ask what was going on after my cousin showed her the messages. The final humiliation came when I discovered they'd made a catchphrase out of one of my texts. I had sent both men the exact same "Good morning, handsome" message on the same day, just minutes apart. Now people were posting it as a joke. "Good morning, handsome," and to the other handsome too. It became a meme in our social circle. It's been 2 months since everything blew up, and I'm still picking up the pieces. DeMarcus moved all his stuff out while I was at work one day. He's already dating someone new, according to his Instagram, some church girl with perfect braids and a degree. Draymond transferred to another branch of the company, so at least I don't have to see him every day. I heard through the grapevine that the two of them actually hang out now sometimes. Imagine that my ex and my side piece becoming friends over their shared experience of being played by me. People keep telling me I should be reflecting, learning from this experience, growing as a person. But honestly, I'm mostly just mad at how it all went down. Was what I did wrong? Yeah, sure. But did they have to expose me like that? Did they have to add all those people to that group chat? Did they have to take something private and make it so public? That's the part that gets me. I can admit, I shouldn't have two-timed them, but the punishment didn't fit the crime. Shaniqua says I'm still not getting it, that I'm playing the victim instead of taking accountability. You broke two hearts and expected no consequences. She told me last week when she finally agreed to meet for coffee. You're lucky all they did was share receipts. Some people would have done worse. Do I regret what I did? I regret how it ended. I regret the public shame. I regret losing two men who, in their own ways, really cared about me. But sometimes I still catch myself thinking that if I'd been more careful with my phone, if I'd kept better track of my lies, if Draymond hadn't shown up that night, maybe I could have kept it all going. That's probably the wrong takeaway, but it's the honest one. Next time, and yes, there'll be a next time. Eventually I'll be smarter. Maybe I'll date guys from completely different social circles. Or maybe I'll actually try that wild concept of being with just one person at a time. For now, I'm focusing on rebuilding my reputation, one carefully curated social media post at a time. New hair, new mindset, new Lakeishat, at least that's what my captions say. The truth is a little more complicated.